A very good evening to everyone, and I welcome you all on the first official webinar organized by Infinite Me, which is my life coaching and training platform. I launched this platform of mine on 1st of January 2024. I am Navpreet Brar. I am an ICF certified life coach and master trainer. So, through this platform, I'm conducting four major programs. Out of those four major programs, one of the program is dedicated to adolescents. So, today I'm going to discuss with you about adolescents, that is how and why they are not able to manage their academics and the workload. So, let's get started. Before I start with the topic itself, let's discuss few facts and the reality which we often encounter in news articles, on news channels, and all around us. In our sometimes in our near and dear ones as well. So a class 9 student recently committed suicide, and in her suicide note, what did she write? That it was due to her studies pressure that she was not able to manage. Then a UP student committed suicide after being denied to sit for exams due to non payment of fees. Excessive academic pressure is bound to lead to emotional changes in teenagers. Now, this has become a big question on ourselves as adults, as educators, that what is it that is troubling our teenagers or adolescents a lot? Why are we not able to make them understand that studies and going through academics is a part of life and not the whole life that they are going to live? So we need to guide them through this phase of theirs, that studies are just a part of what they do in their life. It's not the complete life. But yes, a lot many things depend upon how they study and what they do in future. But that doesn't mean that child gets so much depressed that he or she ends his life. And it's very sad if we encounter these things around. So let's get deep into it, that what actually causes adolescents reach this level of thinking that they end their life at times. So before again we discuss about adolescent brain development, let's know generally how our brain develops. So brain is not fully developed by the time a person reaches puberty. So we assume, and adolescents also assume, that we have become big enough to take our own decisions, to do things in our own way, but that is really not the case. So what happens is brain doesn't keep getting older as we grow. So for girls, it reaches its maximum physical size by the age of 12, and for boys, this size is reached by the age of 14 years. Now, human brain keep maturing, not physically, I would say, but logically and emotionally. Teen brain is ready to learn and adapt. So, teen brain is very active brain, which is always ready to learn and adapt to new things and new situations. Teen brain is very resilient. So, teens they need more sleep as compared to adults and children to relax their brain. We all know that when children reach in grade 9, 10, 11, 12, they are involved not only in academics but so many other things that they like to pursue, or as a part of their growing up in their schools also they are given so many responsibilities which they have to fulfill. Now, how they are managing all these things depend a lot on how the child is maintaining his or her routine in those times, right? So let's get into it. Now, frontal lobe, I have shown you a diagram here. It shows that the frontal lobe, that is the part of the brain just behind your forehead, that is the most important part of the brain which keeps on developing during adolescence. Now, let's move forward. Now, what is the science behind a teen brain? Now, when we talk of a teen brain, I understand that my audiences here are not all of them from a science background. So that doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. I'm going to keep it very simple and very understandable for all of you. Now, where we need to focus when we talk of so many of turbulences during adolescence. First thing is the prefrontal cortex region of the brain. Second is the limbic system of the brain, which consists of amygdala and hypothalamus. And the last is the corpus callosum. And also in the next slide, I'm going to show you that is synaptic pruning. Right now, what happens that prefrontal cortex deals with certain very important aspects of our development. Right now, when we talk of prefrontal cortex, so prefrontal cortex is not fully developed during adolescence. It is still in the stage of development. Now, what does prefrontal cortex control? Prefrontal cortex controls the mood swings of children, or your mood. Right, it controls your attention span, how much concentration you can give to a particular thing. It controls your impulses. It also controls your abstract thinking. So abstract thinking is that how we are able to plan ahead, and how we are able to know that what will be the consequences of our behavior. Right, so all these things are very important when it comes to an efficient working of a person or a productive working of a person. But unfortunately, we can say that this region of the brain is not completely developed in adolescence, and they keep on developing this. It keeps on developing in that age. On the other hand, we have another system which is known as the limbic system. And here, this region, that is amygdala, it controls some very intense feelings and emotions of a person. And ironically, this area lies very deep inside our brain. This region lies quite deep inside the brain, but it develops at a quite a early stage as compared to the prefrontal cortex. So neurologists, they say that this is one of the major reasons that why there is a lot of turbulence in adolescence during adolescence period of children. Right, so what happens is that what does amygdala control now? It controls the strong emotions of fear and anger and flight and fight reactions. Right, so it is very quick to respond to the stimuli. So children are usually at this age, they are very much prone to taking risks. Why do they take risks? Because at that time, this region, the limbic system, becomes overpowering to the prefrontal cortex. Right, so what happens is they react or act accordingly. Therefore, these in this age, like when we talk of substance abuse, or we talk of any kind of risk taking factors, and the adolescence violence, so all these things are the result of this particular region, that amygdala or our limbic system is more developed as compared to the prefrontal cortex, which is still in the stages of development during adolescence. Right, now next is the corpus callosum. Though this is not related to the extreme emotional aspect of adolescence, but this particular region develops very fast in adolescence, and this particular region is responsible for the acquiring of different languages which children are able to learn. So you will observe that adolescents, they are very good at acquiring new knowledge, a new language, sorry. Right, so like Hindi, English are our common languages. So if children are very quick in learning other foreign languages as well. So why does this happen? Because this particular region is developed in adolescents, and corpus callosum is that region which helps them develop a lot of quickness when they acquire new language. Moving on, now this is what I was talking about, that is the role of synaptic pruning. Now synaptic pruning means that now let's look at what are synapses. So synapses are when the two neurons connect with each other and form connections. As you can see in the image also, I have shown a nerve cell. So there are many labelings, please don't go into that. But This is one nerve cell. So when one nerve cell connects with another nerve cell, that connection, that area of connection is known as a synapse. So their synaptic pruning means the redundant or the old connections are erased during adolescence and new connections are made. So this happens why? Because at this age, children are becoming more efficient, they are becoming more productive slowly and steadily. So this is the role of synaptic pruning, which happens to the maximum during the age of adolescence. Now, moving on, I hope this physiological part is clear to everybody and it's very easy to understand also. So, whenever we are dealing with adolescents, so please understand that they are going through really in terms of biology in their brains. So, we need to consider these little facts whenever we are dealing with adolescents. Now, how we can help? To help teens, we need to focus on certain areas. First thing is, let us make them slow down and make them think through. Now, how you can do this? You have to follow 3 R's. Now, these 3 R's are not reuse, recycle, and recover. Wala. These 3 R's are regulate, relate, and reason. Now, regulate what? When we are dealing with adolescents, we have to regulate ourselves, our emotions, our anger, our fear first. After that, you relate. When you have regulated your emotions and fear and anger, then you will be able to listen to the adolescent. You will able to relate to him or her what he or she is going through or what her or his problem is. After that, you come to the reason. Once your teenager has developed that trust in you, that you are listening to them and you are okay with what they are saying, then you can give them a reason that what they are doing is correct or what they are not doing is not correct. Okay, so then they will understand the reasoning part of your conversation. After that, sit with them, help them to chalk out a plan for their future. Also, tell them that all the plans are not always successful. But if they will follow anything with passion, diligence, and honesty and hard work, then any of the plan can succeed and they can get settled. So, we have to prepare them slowly and steadily for the failures and successes as well. Then watch for the signs your teens need more support for. If your child is a happy go round child, he or she is eating well, he or she is exercising well, he or she is doing her managing her academics as well, giving tests properly, everything is happening fine, then it's okay. You are lucky and the child is good to go. But in case you feel that there is a sudden change in the pattern, there is a sudden change in what he or she do regularly, there is a sudden change in their behavior. So please and please observe, sit with them, talk to them in the first place. If in case there is a bigger problem, don't wait and consult a doctor, the appropriate one, what related to the problem that is. Now we come to that what strategies we our adolescents can follow and even the parents. It is both for the parents, for educators as well as adolescents to know that what actually they can do to come out of their zone of overwhelming now and then with a lot of workload that they experience in this age. So what they have to do is, first thing is time blocking technique. Follow time blocking techniques. So big personalities like Elon Musk and Bill Gates, they use time blocking techniques because they are so famous and they have multiple things to do and multiple tasks to accomplish. So unless and until they use this technique, so if this technique has been used by them as well, so why can't we all? So that is what is time blocking. Now, time blocking is wherein you actually block a time for each and every task that you have to do in a day. Write those tasks down and give the time frame in which you will be able to complete that task. Then, after you list it down, you prioritize that which task is more important for you for the day and urgent for you to complete. Put it on the first place. Then accordingly, you list down the other tasks. Second technique is analyze your current ways of spending time. Before we come to the solution of any problem, we need to understand what this problem is. So, for that, you have to closely observe your own time schedule and you have to analyze that in which part of the day you are spending more time and on what kind of task you are spending more time and which task you are spending less time on, or where you need to spend more time but you are spending less time, or maybe where you need to spend less time where you are spending more time. So all this will come under your analysis of your time spent in a day. After that, set proper goals. So before we start doing something, we need to set goals for the day or for a given time frame, that after 1 hour I should be able to complete this, after 2 hours I should be able to complete this. So set your goals and write them down. Why I'm saying write it, write, because when you write it down with your own hand, your subconscious mind takes it as a commitment to yourself that you have to do it, and it gives you a lot of satisfaction when you write down and then you tick that you have done this in the given time frame. It gives you a lot of sense of satisfaction and achievement. After that, break large projects into smaller chunks. It is very much obvious that when we have to do a big large project which is taking a lot of time, we always tend to procrastinate and we also lose interest at some point of the time. But if you break that project into small chunks, that will help you maintain more efficiency, more productivity, and also you will not procrastinate and you will not get bored. And once, and also when you do little things in a while, so what happens is that sense of completion, that completion of the task will also give you a sense of achievement. So you feel boosted, you feel encouraged all the time. So this is how breaking large projects into small chunks help in completing the task effectively. Then is be realistic about the time that you can devote to a task. Don't go overboard. Don't list down 10 things for a day and then you think that you will be able to complete all these things in the given task, in the given time, sorry. So usually this doesn't happen. So be very realistic about what kind of task is there and how much time you will actually need to complete that task. So for that also you have to give a thought and then write it down. Next is pay attention to your body's natural energy highs and lows. Why am I saying this? Because what is natural? The kind of body you have, the kind of physiology you have, and the kind of diet you have, that all you cannot change. Right? So, your body you cannot change all of a sudden just because you have to complete certain tasks. So, you have to be very careful about your body's comfort as well. So you can, what you can do is do those tasks first or at that time when your body energy is very high, or difficult tasks you can take at those times where your body energy is quite high and you can manage to do that. And you can keep some little task which doesn't need a lot of labor to be put in or effort to be put in for those times when you feel a little lazy or slow and you don't want to be very quick while doing the things. Okay. After that, take breaks at the right time. So what neurologists say, they say that your brain needs a break after every 90 minutes. So give yourself breaks as and when needed. You will otherwise also get to know when you're continuously working on something, then your brain start giving you signals that now you're tired, now you are sleepy, then you start feeling dizzy also at times. So that means you have to get up and take a break now. After that, avoid distractions. Very important. So when you sit down for doing your work, maybe you have sat down for preparing for your test tomorrow, then make sure that whether you're studying for an hour or 2 hours or half an hour, please avoid all the distractions. Sit in a quiet place where you can fully concentrate and where you can actually work. Okay. Then you have to build better habits and routines. And also, you have to work smart to enhance your productivity. right? Now, better routines and habits means you have to have a good routine and habit. So a habit doesn't build up in one day. You have to consistently work on that. You have to consistently follow the same routine to build a habit. Like in the morning when you get up, what will you do before you go to your school? After that, after you come back from school, how much time you're going to spend for your sports, how much time you're going to spend for your studies. So accordingly, stick to that routine for few days, and then you will slowly see that that routine start becoming your habit. Work smart to enhance productivity. So always pick up those tasks first which are difficult to accomplish or require more of effort, so that you are able to complete the difficult tasks first, whereas the least difficult tasks can be kept for to be done later on, which doesn't require much of effort or energy. Now I have something to say to parents. So do not be too harsh on your teenagers. They are still in the process of making. They need your quality and quantity time. Do not expect them to figure out everything themselves. Be there for them. So, this is my heartfelt note to all the parents who are the parents of teenagers right now, including me. So, let's not be harsh with them. Let's spend time with them and let's make them accomplish their goals by enabling them to do so. They may not require your help always, but they will always require you to be by their side, to listen to them, to understand, to know what they're going through. So please be there. That's all from my side. I have given you every detail in the description, and there is a link also on which you can connect with me for any kind of programs and trainings and life coaching needs that you all may have. Thank you so much for being such a wonderful audience, and I will connect with you again with another webinar from Infinite Me. I'll see you again. Thank you, and bye bye.